I'm Norm Schrein with Information Radio, and with me is Dave Miller, head coach of the Fairmont Firebirds varsity football team. Coach, last regular season game, let's talk a little bit about last week's game. In the first quarter, what was the key to springing Stevie Doty for the 58-yard touchdown run?
Well, we caught them. They kind of over pursued a little bit, and Stevie's pretty fast, so you put speed in space, good things can happen there. So it worked out. That was that worked. He did a nice job. We executed pretty well there. But like I said, they're pretty aggressive. We knew they would be, and we might be able to get them. But so we just kind of got them out of position there, and ended up with a good score.
A key play in the first half was the Fairmont touchdown negated due to a chop block call. What did you see?
Probably best to keep my mouth shut. It's one of those unfortunate things, but that wasn't the outcome of the game. I'd never blame officials, but I'm just going to leave it there.
All right. Centerville won the second half 21-0. Do you attribute that to how quickly Wells got rid of the ball, thus it would be hard to get pressure on him?
No, I think the 21-0, they definitely capitalized on opportunities, I think, better than we did. The last score, I mean, we're trying to do, crazy things there at the end to try to, get back in the game. So they get a short field or two. I mean, that game's a 14-6, could have been 13, I guess, but we missed the field goal. We talked a lot. I thought, number one, we came to play. I was really proud of our kids on how they prepared. I think we had a good week of practice. I thought we had a really good Thursday into Friday, and they went over there ready to go. I've not seen us do that. It's a good sign of maturity. At the end of the day, we had opportunities we didn't take advantage of, so the penalty aside, we missed a field goal that was makeable for Max. We missed an extra point. We had several pass play, or two there that we usually execute and nail those down. And so, to their credit, they're really good. I mean, we talked about that too. It's like they've had one loss. They went up to Dublin Kaufman and lost up there, and they're good. So we knew going in. That was going to be tough. They were going to make us work, and but I thought we did a good job. None of our guys should be disappointed by the outcome of that. They're the conference champs for a reason. They've taken advantage of opportunities very well. We need to do a better job of that. So, beyond that, I really couldn't be prouder of our kids.
7 people, including Brock Baker, carried the ball in this game. Was that by design to keep a fresh back in there at all times?
No, I mean, it's nothing by design. I mean, we call plays, and a lot of our plays have, opportunities for different guys to get the ball. So it was nothing like that. I mean, that's not what we were thinking. Again, they're good on defense. They make you work, and, we were trying to figure out everything we could to move the ball, and we had some play. I think we kind of look at our week-to-week productivity, and we base it on 3 yards. So if we can get 3 yards, we're feeling pretty good because we're on top of the chains and not behind them. And we were functioning at about 60%, which I think against their defense is pretty good. It's that other 40% that we have to work on, and we have to find ways to get yards against a good defense like that. So. But I think our kids are ready to go back to work. I was really happy with what I saw Monday, and I thought our mindset was really where it needed to be. So we'll see where we go with it.
Speaking of getting back to work, let's talk a little bit about Beavercreek. Though the Beavers have struggled in the conference, they do have 2 of the top players in the league. Your impressions on running back Quentin Youngblood, who leads the league in rushing?
He might be the best running back in the conference, honestly. Coach McDonald was looking at film, and we both agreed he's really good, So he's going to be tough to stop. They've had, I think Coach Mack said there were like 47 plays of over 7 yards, so they're figuring it out. You can see them get better each week, and we talked about it with our guys. They're playing the same GWAC schedule we are. and that only gets you battle tested and ready to go. So we've got a formidable challenge ahead of us. I think I say this every year. They're built more for us on defense than they are probably for spread teams, which is going to make it a challenge too. So we focus on what teams do. We don't try to focus on a team in particular and really focus more on us. But and I know it sounds cliche, but we're really trying to do that. And I think this team's done a good job process-wise each day, just kind of going to work and figuring out what we have to get done. And we've come up a couple plays short here and there the last couple weeks. And, but again, 2 weeks ago, we were competing for a conference title. And if you'd have told me that at the beginning of the season, that in week 8 we were getting ready to do that, week 9 we're going to go over there and possibly have a chance to do that, I'd have thought we've exceeded expectations. So we've done a pretty good job of that.
They also boast a top tackler in linebacker C.J. Crawford. What do you see in the film about his year so far?
He's a physical kid. We saw him as a sophomore, and I know he's a really good wrestler. Coach Weiss does a great job over there with his wrestling program, and CJ's top notch, top tier, elite kind of guy. He's going to be a problem. So he flies all over the place, leading the league in tackles, and he's tough. He's a good player, and their defense. I mean, again, they're coming along. I know the scores don't indicate that, but we're playing in one of the best conferences in the state of Ohio, top to bottom. And you have to prepare every week, and so it's tough sledding. So credit to Coach Colvin and his staff and what they're doing over there, because they're getting them turned around, and it takes a while. It's this conference top to bottom is as good as it gets. So it's going to be a test again. And it's part of what you sign up for. So pretty exciting.
Okay, and finally, what specifics do you work on this game to get ready for the playoffs for next week?
I mean, I keep saying, I know I sound like a broken record, but we just work on each day trying to get better. We talk about outcomes and process, and really the outcomes take care of themselves. And if we do our process each day, then when we get to that point, then hopefully things will take care of themselves. We look at our region, and it's all the GWAC teams pretty much. I mean, we're missing Northmont, who's in Division II now, and Springboro's down in Region 4, but the rest of the GWAC's in there. And then some of those Columbus teams and Toledo teams are just, they're really good too. So it's top to bottom, kind of like our conference. It's each week you got to go play, and pretty cool. I mean, really, that's the way it should be. It's as good as it gets. I reference Covington a lot. I coached up there for 9 years, loved every minute of it. But we knew going out, probably half the games in our conference, no offense to those guys, but it was going to be a blowout. Our kids are going to be out by halftime. I'd much prefer this. This is the way it's supposed to be. So we'll get there, and it forces you. I mean, it's just the old adage about competition. It forces you to have to bring your A game every day. It's not every week. It's every day. And sometimes the scoreboard, doesn't tell the whole story of what's going on in between. But that typically is going to determine how things are going to work out. So.
All right, Coach. Well, I want to tell you we'll be watching you, and good luck on Friday night.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I'm Norm Schrein with Information Radio, and I'm with Marcus Colvin. He's the head coach for the varsity football team for the Beavercreek Beavers.
Yep.
So make sure we got all the introductions right.
That's correct. Yes, thank
Right.
you.
It's year 3.
Year 2.
Year 2.
Year
Okay.
2, yep.
Okay, I thought it was on year 2.
Year 3 will be much better.
Year 2 for you at Beavercreek. In developing the program, you have something called the Cycle of Belief. Can you elaborate on that for us?
Yeah, I mean, so I guess being here, I'm not new, but there's still a lot of newness. And trying to just be aware of the program I inherited, just winless and trying to win. And we've been able to do that just a little bit. not to the level I wish, but that's the goal eventually as we continue to build it. But it's important for us to just instill belief weekly in our kids that, one, they believe in themselves, they believe in their teammates, they believe in their coaches, and believe that we can win. That's an important part of building a winning culture is first believing in ourselves. And so that's one thing we've continued to focus on since we got here. We'll continue to work on that. We'll take it into our off season. Just about believing within ourselves, but it also leads to the belief that you can overcome in moments of adversity. When you need to be resilient, when the cards are stacked against you, can you still have a strong belief about yourself and confidence in yourself and your team and your coaches that you can overcome in that moment. I think that's a very important part of playing a football game, but obviously it's a great translation to life as well as these kids grow up.
All right, and you have two of the top players in the GWAC. Let's start with the leading rusher in the conference, Quentin Youngblood. Can you tell us about his strengths?
Yeah, great kid, man. When I took the job, I watched some film before I said yes, and Quentin was a sophomore at that time, his film, and I thought that kid had a lot of potential. So I kind of was excited to come over here and meet him, but really talented kid, having a great senior year. I think he's leading the GWAC in rushing right now, which says a lot about him and our growth from 1 year to year two. But excellent football player, excellent leader, really has done a great job just being really sacrificial. I think he's carrying the ball 20 plus times a game. So, and we need him. We're not going to have success without that kid on the field. So just thankful that I get to coach a kid like him.
To have had such success running the ball, credit also has to go to the offensive line. Can you give us a summary of the line?
Yeah, that's a group that really has gelled well together. If there's one unit on our team that I feel has really made a great improvement from last year to this year, it's the offensive line. We got a senior center, Reed Frick. He'll be a 3-year starter. I think we'll have to check the stats, but I'm not sure how many kids have played more GWAC games than Reed Frick in his time here. So, but he's a team captain, and then around him are a bunch of juniors and a few sophomores. So, not only that group gel well together, a lot of those kids, 4 out of the 5 are coming back next year for either their senior or junior year. But that group has really done a great job just being coachable. They've got great coaches, but learning to just play consistent physical football and allow us to run the ball. So, yeah, that group I've been very proud of this year.
Then there's the conference's leading tackler, linebacker C.J. Crawford. What's led to his success?
He's a dude, man. He's gifted. He's a 6'2", 225-pound, kiddo that can move laterally and run. So, what's missing in that, he also catches the ball and blocks as a tight end. He's our punter. You wish you could clone that kid. But one of the best kids I've ever coached in all my 20-plus years of coaching is C.J. Crawford. And I tell his dad, in the culture we live in, Beavercreek had not been winning, and it's easy to say, I'm taking my kid somewhere else and go find. And he stuck to his guns and stayed loyal here. And my blessing is that I got to become a coach this kid's junior year, and I get 2 years of coaching this young man. But unbelievable football talent. He'll clearly play football in college at the next level. But I've really just, with all of our seniors, but especially CJ, just really trying to invest myself in just really being present this week for their last week with us as we get ready for senior night. But I'm a big fan of CJ Crawford, man, and I will defend that kid to the moon. I just think the world of him, his ability to be a leader, but then obviously his talent on the football field, and then his character, when he leaves the football field. Just I'm a fan of CJ Crawford for sure.
Okay, let's look at some of the successes you've had, specifically non-conference wins over Ponitz and Thurgood Marshall. What did those wins do for the program? Yeah,
it's good to win. You practice and you go play a game. I know opponents are struggling, and I thought Thurgood was kind of was sneaky a little bit. They were a lot better than we thought, playing it against them. But yeah, those were 2 opportunities for us to win. We're looking for every opportunity to do that here. And so we lose at Xenia, didn't play well, and then you kind of rebound with those 2 games and propel yourself with some confidence into the GWAC schedule that you got to play. So those were 2 very good moments, obviously, for the year because you're winning. But it also showed that when we execute, no matter who we play, we can find success against any team as long as we believe that we can execute the things that we're being coached to do. So, but yeah, two great moments because at the end of the game, we had more points than those teams. So that's the goal. So I want to do more of that.
And kind of going back to the cycle of belief there too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Never ends. Never ends.
Starting a sophomore quarterback is tough, but what you have seen in Jack Minnick this year, especially his 200-yard passing performance against Miamisburg?
Yeah, he really has come a long way. again, you go back to our Xenia game, and Jack may not admit it, but that kid had big time nerves, and it was raining, and we're fumbling snaps, we're throwing interceptions, and he's 15, he's a young kid, and he's playing big boy football. So was he ready versus Xenia? Maybe not, but it was our best answer at the time. So to just see his growth, and here you say had 200 pass yard game versus Miamisburg, played really well versus Wayne, made plays with his legs to give us a chance. We scored 27 points. He's a young kid, and we're asking him to do big kid stuff, and I think he's only gotten better for us. He's still got a long way to go, there's no doubt. But we're excited about him. He throws the ball very well. His improvement's going to be obviously getting bigger, faster, stronger, but then also just his interpretation of the game and defenses and 2 high safeties and 1 high safeties and where to throw the ball. To play quarterback, I'm the head football coach of the team, and I have zero interest in playing quarterback. That just is a tough position, and what we ask those kids to do, especially Jack. So I'm just proud of his continued, consistent work to help our team be better. Very proud of him.
Okay, and finally, in the G-Walk, you battled Wayne and Miamisburg particularly tough. How did you try to carry those performances over from week to week?
Yeah, I think with any game, we're going to go to the film and watch the film. You see the other team, but we focus on what we did not do correctly. It's easy to say, well, that team was bigger, they were faster, they have a kid going to Michigan State or whoever. There's good players in this league, but we focus on, well, we didn't take the right step, we didn't block the right guy, we didn't take the right angle, we didn't high point the ball. Those are all things we can focus on. And so when you have successes, we played well versus Wayne, we played well versus Miamisburg, but the reason we didn't finish was because of our mistake, our turnovers, our missed tackles. And so I really tell the kids, and they might think I'm crazy because we play in this tough league, but we belong, and I want them to know that. And we belong because of the work we're doing, the schemes we're bringing, and we want to see ourselves play as well as we can each week. And those 2 games particularly, we played well for 2.5, 3 quarters, but not 4. Some of the other games, Springfield, Northmont, we didn't play well for 3 quarters. We played well, so it's just we've got to do a better job of finishing and bringing complete games in this league. Otherwise, you're never, I don't care who you are, you'll never win if you don't play 4 full quarters of football. And so, those 2 games are just examples where we were close, but we didn't finish, and ended up losing those games. But you're still proud to see your kids compete against teams that are really talented. So we'll grow from those, as we go in the off season, get in the weight room and stuff like that, get ready for next year. But they momentary confidence, but understanding we didn't reach the goal. We didn't win the game. So how do we improve and do that?
Okay, I'm going to ask you one question that's not on the paper here. You've been able to see Fairmont play as a coach 3 years.
Absolutely, yeah, that's right. That's right.
And twice here. What do you expect to see coming at you from Fairmont?
Oh, just physical football. Coach Miller is just sometimes as a coach. I love the brotherhood of coaches because we all are our own person. I know for me, I just enjoy meeting other guys that are running programs, and you think you have the right practice schedule, but do you? Do you have the right physical tempo, but do you? I'd love to, I know we're competitors, but I'd love to go watch a week of practice and see how Coach Miller does it. Maybe a week in the weight room, because whatever he's doing, his kids translate that to the field, and it's just about being physical. And if we get 2 yards, do it in the most physical, dominating way you can. You make sure their goal is to put you on your back, and then not help you back up, and then do it again. And if it means they get 3 yards or 2 yards, and maybe the fans look at that and say that's not fun football, the coach in me says it's beautiful football. So they're fun to watch just because of their get off. They run the ball downhill. The quarterback is talented. He can do some things on the edge. And then you watch them play defense. They're just well structured. They're balanced. They're kind of in the spaces. They run the ball and tackle. So they're a really good, sound football team. And I think any coach would say, whether you're heavy throw, heavy pass, whatever, heavy blitz, not blitz, you want to be sound. And you want other teams to look at you and say, that's a sound football team. They block, they run, they tackle, they pursue. And so I just respect that program. I respect what Coach Miller's doing. Even in the midst of people saying, throw the ball, I hear him saying it. No, man, Coach Miller, keep running the ball. Maybe throw the ball a little bit more versus Beavercreek. I don't know. But no, just respect for that program, for him and what he does and how he gets his kids to play the same way every darn game. It's pretty incredible to me.
All right, Coach. Well, that's all I have for you.
Thank you.
And I want to thank you for taking the time to come out here on the field with me this afternoon, and this morning, actually.
Yeah.
and good luck on Friday.
Thank you very much. We'll take it. I appreciate the time, Norm. Thank you.